Okay, this is where we're going to begin. I'm going to show you a number grid. After 2 minutes of preparation and falling behind at least 100 times, we're going to show you the number grid. It's right here. This is on your telephone. This is what you don't see. You don't see in between the numbers and the value of the space. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But between 1 and the center 5 is 1, 3, 5, and it says ace. Between 3 and the center 5 is 4. Between 7 and 5 is 6. And between 9 and 5 is 7. Here's your tic-tac-toe. Here's your telephone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You have 3, 4, 6, and 7, which impede. Now, 3, 4, 6, and 7, okay, might not be exactly in the same place, but it's right here. 7, 3, 4, and 6. 1776. 17, 51, 57. Did you see that? 17, 51, 57. Orphelin in white. Remember, the color is white. It takes no sides. It is what it is because it's going to be for everybody. Everybody gets the cue ball. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you this. Again, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Now I'm going to show you tablet number 2, if I can find it in my pictures. Where is that in my pictures? Sorry for the hold up. Wow. How come I can't find it? Log in, brother, reset, Google, limp, using, okay, now I do not see it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let me see if I can get the camera. Okay, the camera and me are on the same picture. So I'm going to show you it. Okay, now I don't know if I have you on the screen. 3, 4, 6, and 7. 3, 4, 6, and 7. 3 and 4 is Earth and Mars. 5 is Jupiter. If you look down on my page, and I'm going to have to change back the camera now so I can see what's going on. If you look down on the page, Ison. Does it mean there's ice on it or my eyes are on it? I is the 9th letter. S becomes A and I. O is A and E. And N is A and D. 1 and 4. 1 and 4 make 5. 1 and 5 make 6. The only way to get 6 in this position 6 or in this position 6 between 5, 6, and 7 is what they call ratio 18. 6 and 7 is the total you get. This 9 and 7 is part of the creation. This is a constant. It's the Aleph letter, and it's in your life forever. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 and 7 is 10x for planet X. 4 by 6 is 24. Letter X in the alphabet. 4 plus 6 is 10. Again, the X. The reason in Roman numerals that they have X, 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 but they don't have 4 X's, they only have 3 X's, is because of the amount of times you can put it over here. If you can't put it here, it can't be put anywhere else. 1 and 9 is X, 2 and 8 is X, 3 and 7 is X. You cannot go 4 and 6 X. It's either 2 and 8, or it's 4 and 6. The line goes across. If I was the ambulance, I would put it this way. You only get one of the two. Here's the swastika. Each line on an angle is the same thing as this. It's the same thing. They're the same things. Okay? Each one is a value of 10. 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 60 seconds on a clock, passing into area 5, and 5 is where the X is. So it automatically, we get 20 more, equaling to 80. But there is no 80 because we can't crisscross like we spoke in the center. When you make this into the swastika, the only difference between this swastika and this sign, this is the original sign. We start from the top left to the bottom right, to the bottom left, to the bottom right. But if we go and start up here, instead of down here, This turns into this. Do you see the H for the hotels and motels on Monopoly? Go look at your Monopoly board and see where the red hotel and the green motels are. 373, that is Nibiru. Those are the numbers in Nibiru, the long count, the short count. 37 and 73 is 110 of the Twin Towers. Here, on this side, we have the same thing. We have 3, 7, 3, because of the angle. In the center is the 5 pass, which actually creates your N letter for Ison. Okay? Here's your Ison. When we add up Ison, we total 57. The year next year in the Hebrew calendar is 57, and the first 5 numbers of pi, 14159, 14159. In the short count of pi, okay, we get a total of 30, 30 days and 4 months. We end with the number 4, 1 and 4, 514. Okay, 919, 1/514. 30 is the short count. Count all zeros as a value of 6 in this equation, because 0 is not 0. 0 is in the middle right here. Do you see this? That's not a 0, that's a 5. It looks like a 0 that surrounds it, but in the center is the 5. It's the area where the 1 lives, because on your keyboard, can you see my keyboard? There's only an exclamation point in that 1 until something is created there. Q and W is how the creation starts. Number 23 and number 17 equaling to 40, the size of the game. A and S equaling to 20, 1/2 of the game. And Z and X equaling to 50, which is the whole. 50, here's your 50, which is 60. We live in the center here. Now look at this, 3, 4, 6, 7. 3, 4, 7, 6 is the diameter of the moon. 3 times 7, 3 plus 7 equals to the 1221 we were supposed to have last year. 4 by 6, 4 plus 6, 4 and 6 is X. And 4 times 6 is 24, 24 hours in a day, and the 24th letter in the alphabet is X. It recreates the 34 inside 3 and 1. Inside 3 and 1. 1331. If we multiply 11 by 11 by 11, 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 121 is 11 by 11. 1331 is 11 by 11 by 11. And 11 by 11 by 11 by 11 is 14, 6, 14. All these numbers have to say something, and they're somewhere. Why do I have B and O? It's not Barack Obama. It's the 25th position right over here. This is B and O Railway. Over here on Monopoly, we have short line, number 36. Over here, we would have reading, and over here is Pennsylvania. The size of the moon is what I showed you, 3, 4, 7, and 6. What else is in here? The difference between 57 and 30 is 27, I and R. THIRD, or it's 36 and the difference is 21. 3 by 7 is your 21. Now I want to show you one more thing on the roulette table, if I can get this up here. That's not the roulette table. So we're going to go back to, there I am. So we're going to go back to maybe here. Let me put my book down. And let's find yeah, I'm looking at my screen also. Always in a rush, always in a rush. No. I'm looking all over for it. There we go. Finally, let me get this out of the way. And I mean, you can calculate numbers forever, and everything means something in a number. So here, if you want to see Ison, look, 17, that's your Q queen, 34, and 6, 57. Here's your Ison, 9, 19, 15, 14, 57, H-I-N-Z. Forget about the E, that's the electronic world. Ison, inside this game, they just built the game here for North America, Montreal casinos. I was just aware last year. Last year they built the game with exactly these 2 spots in it. 57 is the last 1,000 years the Hebrew calendar has been running. In fact, the last Hebrew calendar has been running for 774 years, which is directly center of what I'm going to show you next. 1, 2014, 21, 31, 35, 66, 75, 57, 75, the Hebrew New Year next year. This is what's coming up. Now I'm going to put this up on here, and we're going to have to look at my ugly face, if you don't mind. I'm very far behind. I never know where to start. So now I showed you the long count. I showed you the short count. Now I'm going to show you the letters that it uses. It uses A, I, 1, 5, and 9. 1, 5, and 9 starts off in this angle and goes to here. And if you look at the letter Aleph in Hebrew, it's the same design. The letter Aleph in Hebrew, the legs it stands on are 3 and 7. Again, the numbers to Nibiru. The numbers of planet X, 57, 75. You see, here's your 20. And oh, you're not looking at the board. Let me turn this around again. 1, 20, 14. 14 and 13 is 45. FOX equals 45. I9. None of these numbers pass 4. Why don't they pass 4? Because there is no 4. The only thing we have, okay, here's your 5, but it's a connection to E5. Okay, you're on one side of the board. Now we're on the other side of the board. Here's where we have the Queen. Here we have DC. And here we have Man. So we have DC and Man, 8 in the front, 6 in the back. 6 and 1 creates the dice cube of who you are. 8 is the world we land in of the Queen of Mars and Earth. Red, alive. Red, alive. Man 6, okay, is not alive until he gets 1. Make 16, okay? And if you want to see 16 on this board, we're going to have to go over here. See, number 16 is in red. Man's 1, spirit alive. The electronic world, the creation within man, creation. You see, 27 is 9, 36 is 9, 3 and 0 is 6 is 9, 2 and 3 is 5, 5, 7. These are all red numbers on the board, and they're red because they're alive. Okay, you want to go over here, 32 and 19 is 51, and 15. 15, 51 equals your 66. Now, I'm going to try to jump onto something else. Over here, when we bring out the letters that we use, A, E, and I, E and I stand for something I cannot tell you yet, but when you put the letters in order, it says die, aid. We need aid. Die means the cube. The cube is a van. It's a cube van. It means it's a rescue system of some sort. Somehow they're going to be integrating some kind of Star Wars coming out of the moon, shooting rockets out of the moon. Maybe they're going to open up the sky and chip the sky, because according to some of NASA's remarks, it seems like there could be ice in the sky just sitting there waiting, because it's cold, and it sits as ice, and then it's going to be chipped, and it's going to fall, and you say, hey, look, here comes a meteor. Yeah, aided by the work of NASA, right? NASA, the same thing, no? Another thing I want to show you is the word Hitler equals to 72. 7 times 2, 7 plus 2. But this is what happens when we do it. When we take these numbers for the moon, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72. 72 times 9 is 648. 9 times 7 is 630. 9 times 2 is 18. It's 48. 648. Plus 7, plus 2, plus 9 equals 666. And that's from Hitler's name. Okay? That's how I got from Hitler's name. Now, if you want to go to planet X, which is number 68 for planet, and I've been telling you, 68 is created by 24. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. 68, the X is worth 24. 68 and 24 equals 92, which is 11, or 83. Why 83? 4 and 8 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 6 and 2 is 8. We can't leave the area we're in. We have to add it up and complete it in the same box, no matter how high the number goes. There's different areas for different boxes, and there's the same amounts in all the boxes. They're all going to calculate for the same amount because the space is the same. So we get Die Hard, we get Hitler. I was showing you the swastika, okay, over here. Now, according to the swastika in numbers, and I would really like to get out of this already. I'm way too far into this. To show you the swastika in numbers, we'd have to come down here, across here, and down here, and then across here, down here, and over here. When we create that swastika, 365 days, 7 days a week. 4 days, of 7 days. Why? Because we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 3, 2, 1. The same way as we connect the, there's just so much. This is the way we connect the square. Right here. 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's more to this, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing. When we show you the first one, the center becomes 3, 4, 3, which is 7, 7, 7 of the 3 worlds. Then we get the exteriors, the first, the third, and the first. 11 times 11 equals 13, 31. 12, 21. 1 times 2 times 2 times 1 equals 4, plus 6 equals 10x. 4 by 6 is 24x. Back to planet X. It's like a bowling game. They set up all these pins in a bowling game. Action, reaction, we can knock down all of them at one time with a ball of any color. So we did that, and then there's the size of space, how we use space. Either it's this way or it's this way. This one over here. You only can use it one way. You only can use it one way or the other way. If you want to use this one, it's 7 by 7. This is the same thing, but over here, and what you can do, you get 49 positions. 49 of 7 and 7 equals 63. 63 is the creation of R. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 and 36 is 45. 4 and 5 is 9 again. And it's the creation of the partial of Rubik's Cube. Now, you might ask me that question. I won't be able to have that answer right away. The other part of this is here's the letters we get out from this. DCGS, calling on the dogs. Why do we exchange the C for an O? Because in between the bottom and the top is the letter O, and the opposition is D. D, 4, and 6 become O because the O, both on the telephone grid and in the alphabet, are in the 6th position. At the same time, it's recreated by A and E inside the 5 hole, creating it 0, 1, and 5, or 510. Now, since we got all of these over here, the amount of areas are 9, but we have 9 stripes to create all 9 parts of Rubik's Cube. We get 9 stripes plus this X here is 10, plus this X here is 11, plus this X across. That is your 12 stripes in the game of bowling. And 300, which means a lot more than 300, it means 366, because the zeros are 6s. 6 by 6 is 36 by 3 is 108, plus the 2 spaces in between, or the 3 spaces, total 111, and that's the top floor of the Twin Towers. And again, back to the letter P and U, because if you add up P to U, it equals 111, the top of the Twin Towers, and it reconnects the roulette board. Now, I'm going to end this here and probably add on some crazy stuff in the next video. It just doesn't stop. And just to give you a relation of the number 9, what happens is in the A family, we have A and H, which equals 9. A and H creates the R. A alone plus S, which is the spirit which comes together on your typewriter, create your 20 world. The reason why we cannot get into the 20 world is because when we're finished adding up the numbers, it equals to 19. So anyways, in order to recreate the S is created by the sound of the R, which is A, plus R equals to 19. 1 plus 9 is 10, and we're back into the same family again. So A, J, H, K, R, S is in one family, and S plus A, as S and A, equals to 11. 9 and 2. 9 and 2. K is 1 and 1 is 2. R, 1 and 8 is 9. The lowest and the highest, we get 29. And we get 28. We can't go any higher. We get 29 and 28. And that becomes a number of B and H and becomes the secondary world. I wish I can explain it to you better. When we add up the numbers from 13 to 27 and we start at 28 and 29, it's man birth into the time heaven he lives. These numbers here. These numbers again, they're explaining how a bar mitzvah comes out when you get to the age of 13. But we're not getting into that. The other thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How in the world do we recreate these two and these two? Well, this one and this one is automatic, because when I take these three and put it next to these three, it creates two full spaces in between. Move these three apart and move these three apart, and you'll have nothing. You put them together, you show up with these two spaces. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I'm never sure which way I'm going, but I'm going to keep on coming back and back and back. And I forgot to show you one. That star that everybody sees, the star, well, when you format your 3, 4, 7, and 6, the star is created automatically through the center. The last part I wanted to tell you is of the alpha omega. Once you create a triangle with the 11 parts by extending it, you know, you make your V like this, and you put 2 lines down. You make your triangle, okay, box size. When you make that, what happens when you put a circle in the center, it turns out to be the curve inside the 7. When you put the 2 7s together, or the 2 triangles together, you create the omega sign, you create the hole, you create the 7, and at the same time, when you put 2 of them together, one above the other, you create the 7 card and the 8 card, one with a hole and one that does not have a hole. Therefore, you cannot see it, so you cannot understand it. Now we'll leave it at this, and it's way over the time of 3 minutes I wanted to go. The other thing I wanted to show you is Ison on your telephone. You see, I is 15, and on, separated. So bingo connects these two. So we come down this way and come down this way, and it shows a wing, an L shape, which means one of the angels are coming. So along with all these disasters that are coming, there's definitely something coming from another world, and somehow this is a bigger game to somebody else than we'll even imagine. And we're part of it because this is the world we're in, and thank you for watching this video. Oh my God, there's so much. I'm never even sure. I didn't even do the bar mitzvah. Everybody's asking me, do the bar mitzvah, do the bar mitzvah. My video was canceled. The bar mitzvah in 36 numbers of the gematria tree tells you exactly why the boys and the girls are separated between 12 and 13. Because, thank you.